Hello everyone, I'm Adam Wright with Lee Schools TV. Joining me is Superintendent Dr. Greg Adkins, and just like all of you, we are trying our best to navigate these uncharted waters as we deal with this unprecedented situation. So we wanted to be transparent with all of you and give you as much information as we can in a timely manner. So that being said, we are recording this March 20th. It is the official last day of spring break.
That's correct, yes.
Schools are closed until at least April 15th. We started distributing Chromebooks yesterday.
Yes.
So Dr. Adkins, first of all, thank you for being here. And secondly, what can students and their families expect over the next week or two?
Okay, one thing that I would say for all of our families is making sure that you're checking in with us, leeschools.net. It provides great information. But what our parents and students should really look for the next week is really support that's going to be pushed out for our parents, so that students are able to access our online resources so that we can start our instructional continuity plan. And parents should know that there are a lot of resources out there right now that they can really get their students started on independent learning for this next week. And then we're going to be prepared starting March 30th with the whole, everybody's going to be school, except it'll just be distant school. So I would expect, parents should expect a lot of information to be coming next week. We're trying to do our very, very best to support our parents. We, as you just mentioned, where Chromebooks are being distributed right now. We had 4,000 Chromebooks distributed yesterday, 4,000. That's incredible. Those are going out now to our 4th and our 5th graders. We're going to be distributing also, not just today from 8 to 5 at all of our schools, but also Saturday from 9 to 11. So, parents of 4th and 5th grade, you can pick up your Chromebooks. And then the following week, all those parents of K through 3, Chromebooks are going to be made available to you if you need a Chromebook. And that's very important because we can access these resources using a home computer or a personal device.
Now, I know a lot of parents out there are wondering, how exactly this is going to work. So next week, teachers will be getting trained on how to do this distance learning, right? And then the following week is when the learning will start. Can you describe how that process will go next week a little bit?
Yes. So our principals have received information in terms of how this is going to occur, and then our teachers are going to receive information today about these online resources, and then starting on Monday through Wednesday, teachers will be participating in, again, distance learning through online resources from their homes or wherever they want to access this material from for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So our teachers are going to learn really how to conduct this instruction online. And then Thursday and Friday, they're going to be involved in planning, setting up their Google Classrooms, just getting ready to start instruction on Monday morning. So it's all about professional development for the teachers in the very first part of the week, and then giving them the time to really plan and prepare for the following week. And here's what's important. The academic services team, they have been working day, night, weekend to make sure that this academic plan is ready to go. And the online resources, I have to tell you, are just absolutely amazing. I'm very humbled by the work that they've done. And I think our teachers are going to be very, very appreciative. It literally differentiates, where a teacher, if they already know how to set up a Google Classroom, they can just put, yes, and they move to the next module, so they don't have to do that module. But if you've never done that, then you click, and there's like YouTube videos or instruction on how to do that distance learning.
Now, I know that some parents have expressed some frustration about only being able to get one Chromebook per household. A lot of people have multiple students, multiple children at home, but we have limited resources. We have over 95,000 students in the district. We don't have 95,000 Chromebooks.
Correct.
And we're not expecting this to be a flawless process. We've never done this on such a mass scale before, so we are expecting some glitches and some hiccups, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're making a change, really a transformation as large as this one, you are going to make mistakes. There's certainly going to be some glitches. We expect that, but we ask our parents, be patient, because we are literally learning as we go. Although I will say, our teachers, by and large, are very, very adept at online instruction. So many, particularly at the secondary level, I know, have been conducting this type of thing. So I do expect it to go well overall. But yes, absolutely right. There's going to be things, we're going to be evaluating and making changes to our plan as we go along and making improvements. I think by the time we get to the other end of it, it will transform the way learning occurs, and I think it will actually improve overall. So even when we come back to school in the future, I think that education can improve because now we have really worked on honing this new way of educating kids, so we can have a lot more educational continuity than maybe we've ever seen before.
Yeah, and it goes without saying that we greatly appreciate everyone's patience throughout this process. What about graduation? A lot of people are asking what this all means for graduation, with high school seniors and even students being promoted to the next grade, how this is all going to work. The timetable right now is we return April 15th. Of course, that could change, but state testing, we should mention, state testing again has been canceled for the year. But how are we looking at graduation right now? What's that going to look like?
Well, I think in terms of whether we have an actual ceremony for graduation, that decision has yet to be made. That is still 10 weeks out, so let's say we close for 8 weeks or something like that, or we are able to come back April 15th, there is a possibility we could have those in person, but again, that decision we have to wait on. But I have to say this, and I have to really show my appreciation for our governor and also our commissioner of education, because they looked at these graduation requirements and they really did some things to relax the standards in terms of the testing piece of it, and so that's going to provide a lot of relief for some of those seniors that still had one test or two tests that they had to pass, because now they don't have to worry about that. They really just need to focus on making sure that they get the grade from their teacher. So in terms of being able to be promoted, the commissioner made it very, very clear that it is the expectation that the academic year really end on time or end as it's scheduled. Now, we may have 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 5 days that we might have to work with, but we do think we have some time in our existing schedule plus hurricane makeup days if we have to go there. But I think our seniors need to understand that you just have to work on doing your academic, the academic work that your teacher assigns to you and do a good job with that. And with that, you should be expecting to graduate on time.
And I've seen a few parents asking about, they have children with special needs and IEPs. Is there a process in place for our students with IEPs during this time?
Yes, there is. We do have staff that's assigned to do that, and the Department of Education has given us some, again, great flexibility to work with those parents on their IEP. There may be some services that we'll have to postpone or move to a later date, but there's also things that we can provide. And let me go back to something regarding the assessments, because we really talked mainly about seniors. Seniors and non-seniors will not have to take those state assessments. And so for high school students that have to pass an end-of-course exam this year, let's say biology, for example, and it would be 30% of your grade, they're waiving that for this year. So a student in biology just needs to really focus on passing that test with what the teacher has assigned. So I could be a 9th or 10th grader taking that course, and normally I would be taking an end-of-course exam, and that would be 30% of my grade. That is not going to happen this year. You just have to focus on making sure that you get a passing grade from your teacher. Hopefully they're all getting A's, maybe B's, but that's where the focus should be now for our students.
We all know this is a difficult situation, and it's probably, I'm sure, stressing a lot of people out.
Right. Yes.
It might be worth mentioning that we do have some mental health services available to students and staff at this time, right?
We do. We have a really mental health response team that's available. What I would suggest again for that is, reach out to your school or reach out to us in the district office if you have a student that is struggling with these issues. We have counselors available. We have really a lot of great community resources that we can deploy to help support any of our students experiencing any difficulty during this time.
Can we switch gears, or is
Sure.
there anything else curriculum related that you
Well,
want to
I think
discuss?
that what's important again is the commissioner has stressed that that learning is going to continue in the state of Florida, and it's certainly going to continue in Lee County. But we're also going to work on making sure our students are safe and secure. And when it comes to grading, I think that compassion is the word that he used. Use compassion in grading during this transformational time.
Okay, so we talked briefly about food distribution that's going on next week starting Monday.
Right, yeah.
How's that going to work?
Well, right now we have it at 24 school sites and 14 sites in our community. So these are spread all over Lee County. We're going to be distributing kind of a grab and go type of lunch where students and parents can come through and get breakfast and lunch at all of our schools. We are going to continue to evaluate that plan. That's important because I'm sure, like you mentioned before, there might be glitches here or a population that maybe we're not able to get to with that plan. So we are going to constantly be reevaluating that plan and making changes. So again, parents should stay tuned to the website. But that's generally how it's going to work. And here's something important for our parents to understand. You have to have your students with you or a child with you. You have to have that. That's a USDA requirement.
When they're picking up the...
When they're picking up the food, they have to have a student because we do not want to lose our capability to serve food. If we are just handing out food to somebody over 18 years old, the USDA, that would be a violation and we could be potentially stopped from being able to distribute food. We don't want to have that happen. So we're asking our parents for their cooperation there. I know that might be an inconvenience in some cases, but that is a requirement of the USDA.
And if they have multiple children, will they get multiple grab-and-go packets?
Okay. Yes.
All right. So, and the schedule and the list of schools and locations, they're all online. You can go to leeschools.net
Yes.
And go to our COVID-19 bar, and it's got Chromebook distribution schedules and sites, as well as the food distribution sites as well. Can we talk about employees? I'm sure a lot of school district employees are watching right now, and they're kind of wondering what's going to be going on with them over the next week or so. Can you talk about employee scheduling over the coming days and compensation as well? I know there's a lot of questions about that.
Yes. Fortunately, our compensation, our pay for our employees will continue, so employees can have the comfort that paycheck is going to keep on coming, which is a good thing. Of course, with compensation always comes required work, but that work is going to have to transform as well as the learning has transformed. So here's what employees can expect. First of all, we are working with our Teachers Association of Lee County. We are also working with our Support Personnel Association of Lee County regarding what these schedules look like. They have been a partner in this. And again, that's a situation where we've had our glitches there too. And Talc and Spouk are very quick to bring that to our attention, and we come back together and work on communication. I believe a joint communication is going to go out today, is my understanding. Once the team finishes their work on those schedules. But basically, we should expect this. Next week is a week of really work, where we are coming together, we're doing professional development and planning. For teachers, we already know what that's going to look like. They're going to be able to work from home if they have access to the internet and they can access their professional development. I also want to say that if there's some difficulty a teacher might have in terms of connectivity, contact their principal, and because in limited cases we can have somebody that comes to the school, although we want to follow CDC guidelines. For our other staff, 12-month staff should expect to report to work as normal, although we are working again with the employee associations because we think we have an opportunity to do some working from home. We are going to be practicing social distancing while at work. We cannot meet and come together in groups of 10 or more. So all of those things are going to change in the work environment. So again, gradually we'll be working on how those schedules are. For bus operators and staff like that, we are still working on a plan. What's going to happen today is a communication is going to go out with all those details once we've worked with Talc and Spouk, and so employees should be watching for that today through the website. We'll do push notifications and phone calls, texts, those type of things to make sure they're checking for that schedule.
So just keep an eye out for
Yes.
more information soon.
Yes.
How many different people and agencies are you meeting with on a daily basis to make these important decisions?
There's a lot of partners involved in making these important decisions. First of all, we are working quite a bit with the Department of Health. So that's something that our staff is they're in contact with the Department of Health on a daily basis. We are also working with Lee Health on just about a daily basis on a conference call there. We are working very closely with the Department of Education. The Department of Education has set up a daily conference call that we participate in that has been, as I mentioned before, very, very informative. In fact, all of them mentioned have been great partners in this. Yesterday I did a news conference with our county partners. Lee County, our sheriff, they've been, again, amazing to work with, and a lot of great information yesterday from people like our property appraiser, tax collector, county commissioners. So we're all working through this and trying to align our work so we have the best response for our community.
I just want to go back to distance learning, if I can. I was thinking people might be interested in knowing, and maybe we're still trying to iron out these details, but what their school day would look like. How many hours can they expect to be on their Chromebooks at a time, and will every school or class start at a certain time of day and end at a certain time of day, or what's the process going to be like? Or are we still trying to figure that out?
I think those details are going to come out a little bit later today, but yes, I mean, our teachers will be provided, because here's the work that a teacher would be conducting in a normal day. Would be a period that you would be working with your students, online, that you would be presenting lessons and so forth. Teachers also would have time for planning that would occur daily. There would be time for grading and assessment that would be occurring. There would be time for parent conferences and phone calls, particularly in the beginning. I can just imagine, there's going to be a lot of that goes on as well. So those things are what a teacher's day would probably look like. And again, we're working with our association to try to map out the specifics in terms of how much time. But that's how the teacher's day would look. For a lot of employees, it's going to be a normal day. A lot of the employees that work in this building, their day would be very similar to the way it has always been. It may be that takes place at home in some cases where we have employees that are able to work from home, but in many cases, the only difference will be practicing social distancing and following the guidance of the CDC. Students, at some suggestions, we had a board member that made this great suggestion, a community member made the same suggestion. We're going to put out a sample student day for our parents. So parents should be watching for that. This is what you would expect your student to do every single day while school is in session. So I think that will be very helpful to students. Now, it is important to stress that one of the advantages of distance learning is it gives us a little flexibility, that we don't have in a normal school day. So there may be some things that once we get to the other side of this that we really like, and it may, again, I expect this to really transform education across our nation, and probably in a positive way.
I know there are families out there who may not have internet access at home. I know that at the Chromebook distribution sites, we're also giving out physical paper packets as well, right, in case they don't have internet access?
Yes, that's correct. We do have packets that our team has prepared that has 10 days worth of learning that we are passing out. We also, I just gave the authorization yesterday to purchase additional hotspots for our students, which again is something that we were given flexibility by the state to do, to use funds to purchase hotspots. And so we'll be working with parents on this whole connectivity issue and getting those hotspots out to those parents and students over the next week or so, so students that do not have access at home may be provided access at home. You had mentioned some parents that I got a notification, I think it was yesterday, of a parent that had 8 Chromebooks, or a need for not 8 Chromebooks, but 8 kids, and would like to have additional Chromebooks to meet that need. I think those things are going to come up, and we will work with the parents on that and try to help to get them the help that they need. We do have additional Chromebooks coming in. I think Mr. Davis has 2,000 that should be here hopefully today, and we'll be able to get those distributed out, extra 2,000, and then he's getting additional hotspots in as well, as I mentioned.
How is this whole situation different from, I know you've been through hurricanes before where we've had large-scale shutdowns that we've had to deal with. This is a little different because with this, a hurricane, you kind of expect a certain amount of days for, until the power comes back on and all that. But this is a little different because we're still not sure what's going to happen a month from now.
Right.
How difficult is it to kind of navigate this situation for you and your team?
Yeah, it has been very challenging, I'll be honest with you, because it is very different from a hurricane. I will say the experience of Hurricane Irma, our team went through that, and that was the longest closure, to my knowledge, at least during my 30-plus career, the longest closure that Lee County has ever experienced, at least in recent history. And so that was unique, and I think in some ways helped us prepare for this in terms of our emergency response. But what's different here is that hurricanes are also fairly isolated, although Irma really impacted the entire state of Florida and other states as well. COVID-19 impacts the entire world. So it's disrupting the entire world. It's not like people can leave the area and life can be normal again. It is not. And so this is truly uncharted territory. Hurricanes, you're not worrying about social distances. You're not worried about people getting sick. You're worried about, mainly people, being in harm's way in the hurricane and getting them out of harm's way and protecting them. But once the event is over, then it's just the recovery effort. So you pretty much know now what you have to do. This is different, and we don't know how long it's going to last. And so I think we have to truly work on doing something transformative in how we deliver education.
Well, we appreciate your leadership during all of this. And is there anything else that we didn't touch on that you wanted to mention?
Well, yes, I will tell you that from the Chromebook distribution to the preparedness around the academic continuity plan, our employees have been amazing. Our employees have been amazing. And we've had teachers that have come out and volunteered to pass out Chromebooks. We had even board members out doing this type of thing, community members. We had a commissioner that's going to help us with our food serving. He's coming out, he and his wife, Commissioner Sandelli, our new commissioner. The outpouring of community agencies, and then just the resiliency of our employees and the desire to help our kids. I mean, I've just been humbled by that and appreciative of that. I can't tell you as a superintendent how that just warms your heart when you see, it's all about protecting our kids, and that's that's their top priority. It really is, and so they've been amazing. They truly have been amazing.
And again, we're all in this together. We're all learning how to deal with this and trying our best. And again, we appreciate your patience, and expect more information to be coming out every day.
Yes.
Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Twitter and checking our website daily, www.leeschools.net. We're continually posting new information and updates, so be on the lookout for that. Yeah, we're all rolling with the punches here.
Yes.
So we just thank all of you and continue to stay in touch with us, and we'll do the same. And is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, again, this is something that we've been through these before in terms of having to respond to a huge challenge. Irma was one that came to mind. There are others. Mm-hmm. But what you find out is this community is very resilient. Our students are amazing, staff's amazing, and we'll overcome this as well.
All right. Thank you, sir. Superintendent Dr. Greg Adkins, and thank you all for watching, and we will continue to bring you more information as we can.